heard of the Pied Piper? Well, in my dream, Pied Piper had toilet paper, one sheet of the cheap kind.
Yes.
And he took that and he ripped out a creme brulee and a little tiny pepper.
Yes.
Before he ate a tree. You didn't have that dream?
Yes, I did.
Okay, nope. Okay, you did not. Don't tell me you did. It's not true. You didn't never get to dream of the Pied Piper eating a tree. I mean, you're telling me you dreamed that too? Then it wasn't as cool as my dream.
All right, so while we have cameras on the conversations going on the floor of Congress, we don't have microphones on these folks, but we can make our best guesses about what's being said, and there's a lot of that going on right now. Let's watch some more.
I've heard that the floor asked for shrubs to be put in the common areas.
Yeah, you're right.
We will not let this slide, because like when you
obviously
do that,
we'd put in some rocks too.
Oh, interesting. All rocks are my friends. I didn't know.
Hey, listen. Hey.
Huh?
You're really obvious in the red. I think it's kind of too red.
Oh, really? Well, you have a regular face. Point.
I love it.
That last one happened. That last one was exactly verbatim. You have a regular face.
I think bad lip readings can, be accurate sometimes. Yeah. It's a
shout out to bad lip readings. That's just a brilliant use of time, They
Seriously. Were there when we needed them most.
Yes.
We don't usually have shots like this of the House floor. And people are interested in seeing maybe, I think, what the representatives are up to. Who is talking to who? Many of these clips have gone viral. The people are interested in them. It's weird to see AOC talking to Paul Gosar and Matt Gaetz. But there's a reason we don't usually get to see those moments. This is fascinating. Reporting from Vice. For decades, C-SPAN has asked to be able to film all of what happens in the House chamber, not just the person speaking. Thanks to the Kevin McCarthy speaker battle, it is finally happening in all its chaotic glory. Then a quote from Brian Lamb, who's the C-SPAN chairperson, who said, currently House floor debates are not in full public view because private news media cameras are still not permitted in the House chamber. C-SPAN's request is for the addition of a few small robotically operated cameras in the House chamber. Its requests have always been denied, reported by Vice. Now, Ben O'Connell, who's the director of editorial operations for C-SPAN, so a guy behind a lot of the shots we're seeing, he said typically during normal run-of-the-mill House sessions, the cameras are totally controlled by government employees, so not by independent media like C-SPAN. However, reporting by Vice, there are different rules for special events like joint sessions. For all of O'Connell's 22 years at C-SPAN, they've been the pool camera crews for the speaker vote. In that sense, and only in that sense, this year's speaker vote has gone just as all the others in recent history. C-SPAN has 3 cameras in the House chambers, and they can stay there until the speaker is elected and new members have been sworn in. Of course, what is different this year is that it was not a routine 2 or 3 hour long event. It is now on its 3rd day. This was reported yesterday, and the proceedings are highly contentious. Ben O'Connell then said, because we have cameras in the chamber, we're able to tell the story of what's happening on the House floor. You're able to see the migrating scrums of congressmen in the House floor as they negotiate with each other. You're able to see extraordinary conversations, and you're able to see conversations that sometimes look somewhat contentious among some members. You'd never be able to see that with the standard House feed. And because we know about some of these conversations that are happening, that are heated, or just people you wouldn't expect to be talking to each other in this moment, we can ask about them, which is exactly what The Intercept did. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez commented, she said, McCarthy was suggesting he could get Dems to walk away to lower his threshold. And I fact checked and said, absolutely not. So here you had McCarthy lying to Gaetz and Gosar saying, we could get them to lower the threshold, which he asked AOC about. She said that's not true. That's a really interesting conversation, and to know that party leadership is lying. AOC had more to say about this. She did an interview with MSNBC where she elaborated on these conversations she's been having with some of the members of the far right faction. Let's watch.
And some of us in the House of Representatives are independent in certain ways from our party. And I do believe that in some of those conversations, there are things that are happening on the floor. These machinations are happening on the floor. And sometimes the leadership of your party, in this case, the Republican Party, will be making claims in order to try to twist arms and get people in line. And a lot of times, information and truth is currency. So sometimes to be able to fact check some of the claims that McCarthy is making, whether Democrats are going to defect or not, et cetera, is important in order to keep him honest and to keep people honest in general.
So thanks to these cameras, we know more about what our representatives are doing. That's good for democracy and transparency and blah, blah, blah. But more importantly, it's great for memes. Let's look at this photo. To me, this looks like a Renaissance painting. Stuff like this is brilliant. Look at Gaetz in the front, AOC having a heated convo in the back. Santos is in the mix. I think it's brilliant.
Santos, yeah, that actually, he photoshopped himself in. He was not there.
My favorite is this one of Santos. He's staring directly down the barrel. Beautiful.
Yo, Santos is making sure he is just like, someone needs to give him $20 to go get some snacks and like just be gone for a little bit. It is not a good look. But the Santos story also, like the fact that that's sort of the undercurrent for this week and that it's still going. Because when the Santos stuff broke, I was like, this is gonna blow over. No, it's there, and so is he. She's like, when's it my turn? Then I'm president now, right? Well, I was once. Like I'm the former president of Brazil. What? No. It's just so good. But I will say, I do think C-SPAN is, first of all, loving it. This is like when, Law and Order TV, or what was it like? Yeah, Law and Court TV during the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. It's their moment, okay? And it is nice that we see finally these camera operators are allowed to film what's going on. We can see how people are treating one another. We can see whether or not Democrats even talk to Republicans at all. And it is interesting that you've got Gaetz and Gosar especially, who've openly said horrible things about AOC. Gosar's account once tweeted a video. He was censured for this. Tweeted a video of AOC being murdered. And there he is sitting there talking to her about his dream about the Pied Piper. No, obviously talking to her about who knows what. But her face is like, fool, you put a death wish out. You put a hit out on me. I'm not talking to you. What are you saying to me? What is he possibly saying to her, Jessica?
Yeah, I mean, he could have been another one of the guys that was just asking, like, does McCarthy actually have some of you saying you're gonna flip so that I get the majority? It could have been a question like that. I don't know what someone like that talks to AOC about. And it was an anime video as well. And there's no chance that Gosar found that himself. It was definitely one of the younger guys on his team that was like, can you please tweet this out? You would get so much recognition for it publicly. I swear this will land on the internet. But it could get him in some hot water because it was very clearly a death wish. And so it's like, you're forcing people on opposite ends of the political spectrum to work together because the establishment is just lying to you about what their hand is. And that's the state of American politics.
I mean, to be fair, they are not the establishment. Gaetz and AOC. I wish AOC were the establishment. So it is interesting, what could they possibly be arguing? Say, hey, you could really stick it to Jeffries, who's talked a lot of ish about AOC. Jeffries hates AOC. Like you should, you could vote for Kevin, and AOC's probably like, no, thank you, but no, thank you. Anyway.